Hey Together We Move people, it's Ashley with Fleet Feet, introducing Superfeet Ambassador Francheska Martinez, who has a hip flexibility and mobility workout for you today. And trust me, your hips are going to feel great at the end of this workout. If you want to learn more about Francheska, you can follow her on Instagram. Also, if you know Superfeet, you know that they create insoles for running shoes and more. What you may not know is that right now, during the coronavirus crisis, Superfeet has shifted production to create vital medical supplies for those medical professionals fighting COVID-19 on the front lines. To learn more about that story and to shop for Superfeet products, please click the link below at the end of this video. Thanks for joining us for Together We Move. Have a great workout.
Hi, my name is Francheska Martinez, and I'm a member of the Superfeet Wellness Panel. I'm super excited to bring you this stretching and mobility routine for the Together We Move Daily training program by Fleet Feet and the Run Experience. Let's get started. So for our first movement, we're going to start seated down. So I'm going to spread my feet apart and I'm going to assume a SHINBOX position. So pretty much you're going to keep your feet wider than hip distance so that you can fit your shin in between. So from this SHINBOX position, we're going to try to posture up and see if we can get both hips on the ground. I'm a little stiff today, so I can't get both hips on the ground. But from this position, I'm going to drive my knees into the ground, posture up. I'm going to use my hands to help maintain the length in my spine as we switch on over to one side and plant the knees into the ground again. So planting the knees into the ground, you can even activate the feet a little bit by flexing them. Get nice and tall. That's 2 reps. So hands on the ground. Posture up, switch on over to that side. See if you can maintain some integrity in the core. See if you can find your center a little bit more. 4, posture up, pull those shoulders back, get tall through your spine. 5, drive those knees into the ground. 1 more. For the next one, we're going to come up to standing. So on this one, the way we're going to count repetitions is every time we assume a squat position, that's going to be 1, all right? So on the last one we did alternating, this one's going to be a little bit different. So I'm going to bring my feet as wide as my yoga mat. I like to have my feet a little pointed out in my squat. So I'm going to squeeze the glutes, pull the shoulders down and back, take a deep breath. Squat down, drive the knees forward and out, come up. So now for the hinge position, we're going to try to get a stretch on our posterior chain. So that's our hamstrings, maybe your calves if your calves are tight, and the glutes as well. So for this, let's see if we can drive our hips back. So I'm gonna maintain a nice soft bend in my knees. I'm gonna pull my hips back, keeping nice vertical shins, shoulders above the hips, nice long spine. And up. I felt a nice deep stretch in those hamstrings, so I'm just going to go until I feel the stretch. I'm not going to go too deep into it, all right? So that's 1 rep. Squat and hinge. Squat, squeeze the glutes, come up tall, engage the abs, hinge, pull yourself back with your hamstrings. Squat. And grip the floor with your feet, pulling yourself down into your squat, and pulling yourself with the hamstrings and glutes back into that hinge. That was 4 reps. 2 more. It's just 6 of everything. Nice and easy count. My hamstrings feel lit up after that one. All right, and for the next one, we're gonna get a little bit more into the adductors. So for this first one, it's gonna be all hips. So this one is gonna be our Tai Chi lunge. For this Tai Chi lunge, we're gonna bring our feet as wide as we can, and I'm gonna lunge into one knee. So I'm gonna lunge into this leg, bring my hips as low as I can, with keeping my structure engaged. And then I'm gonna turn my torso towards my bent knee, and I'm gonna shift sides. Twist through my spine, trying to keep my hips stable. Almost imagine I'm trying to rip that mat apart with my feet. Twist, shift sides. That's 2 reps. 3. Inhale, shift. 4, 5, and 6. Beautiful. So that's one round. We're gonna go back down to the ground, and we're gonna repeat that entire sequence starting from the shin boxes. Feet a little bit wide here. I like to use my hands to support, really thinking about lengthening through that spine, maintaining tension through my abs this entire time. Switch the knees over to one side, plant the hips, see if you can find that center. Open up the hips just a little bit. Like to engage the feet. See if you could even drive the shins into the ground a little bit here. One more side. Getting a lift by leading that hip up and then switching over. All right, let's come up to our squat and hinge. So for the squat to hinge, let's focus a little bit more on our breath here. So I'm gonna inhale as I descend on each of these. So I'm gonna inhale, exhale, squat. Inhale, hinge. That's 2. 3. Draw those hips back. 4. 5. Last one. 6. Beautiful. Back into our Tai Chi lunge. So remember, you're trying to think about finding some stability in the hips and then mobilizing through the spine, right? So lunge, find that stability, drive that mat apart, squeeze the glutes, lengthen through your spine, twist, shift sides. Shift, find that integrity in the hips, re-engage the hips, root yourself into the ground, twist through your spine, and then shift. Don't be afraid to let your knees drive forward if you don't have any discomfort there. You can point your toes out a little bit if you need to, like diagonally. Your feet don't have to be perfectly forward if you don't have that movement. Last one. Alright, I'm feeling great. Last round of these, and then we'll increase the intensity just a little bit on that next one, but we're still gonna stay in the stretching and mobility theme, alright? So, back into that shin box. See if we can try a little bit harder than last time to maintain that integrity throughout our spine the whole time. So I want you to imagine that someone rooted like a little string into your head and they're pulling you by that string the entire time. So you're trying to create more space in between each vertebrae, all right? So lengthen through your spine. I like to even start with the feet flexed here. Like I said, irradiate tension throughout the whole body. Shift over to one side. Root yourself into the ground, posture up, pull yourself into your center. Your hips are gonna feel great after this. Drive your shins into the ground. 4. 5. Last one. And 6. And last set of our squat to hinge. Here we go. Same thing, inhale back. Maintain that length through your spine. Nice strong abdomen the entire time. Squeeze those abs. Strong glutes at the top of every rep. Last one. All right, see? That's 3 rounds. So for the next one, we're gonna stay with the same theme. 6 movements, 6 repetitions of each movement, and we're gonna do 3 rounds. Okay, so for the first one, we're gonna do squat, or bear squat actually. Bear squat to scorpion. So I'll show you what this looks like. We're going to assume a child's pose-ish position. So I'm gonna grip the floor with my hands. I'm gonna sit back, and I'm gonna keep my knees an inch off the ground. If you can't keep your knees an inch off the ground, that's completely fine. You can always drop them down. So first thing we're gonna do is we're gonna lift up the hips, squat down, and as we lift up the second time, we're gonna lift one foot off the ground and try to strike like a scorpion. So squeeze the glutes, lift the hips, open that hip. Come back down, squat down, and lift up. So if you notice in that downward dog-like position, I'm lifting the heels up actively. It's just a little bit different, helps get more strength and active stretch out of there instead of going into just a straight passive stretch. So you can try either variation if you like. Let's get started. So it's 6 repetitions of this. Take your time. You're just gonna get your heart rate up just a little bit more, but focus on getting a nice active stretch and actively opening up those hips, trying to pull them open. All right, here we go. So gripping the floor or gripping my mat with my hands. I'm gonna raise the hips up, lift my heels off the ground, get a nice active stretch in my hamstrings. And then from here, we're gonna squat down, squat back up, squat down, and lift. Think about striking like a scorpion. Keep those arms straight. Squeeze the glutes and come down. Squat, up, and scorpion. So we don't have to do 2 squats in between. We can just keep 1 squat. Or bear squat as we call them. Open up those hips, keep on reaching. Oh, you know, this one side might be tighter than the other. Hips nice and high and squat down. Come back up, open up that hip, reach. Think about trying to get your knee up towards the ceiling. And down. That's 3, we're halfway there. If your arms are getting tired, you can shake them out. And 2 more. I'm gonna shake out my arms real quick. All right, last 2. Open up, lift that heel. Nice active stretch. Think about keeping your chest towards the ground. And last one. Ooh. All right, my arms are feeling it on that one. So on this next one, we're gonna stay with the theme of hitting the hips, and we're gonna go into a kneeling position for this one. So I'm gonna go into a half kneeling position. From here, I'm going to grab onto my front knee, and I'm just using it to kind of anchor myself in so I don't need extra rotation at the hip. So kind of the same thing as that Tai Chi lunge. Nice stable hips so we can move through the spine. So I'm gonna anchor myself in, and I'm gonna reach with this top hand. So I'm gonna pull in the abs, squeeze the glutes, and the key here really too is to kind of pull that pelvis under. You'll get a nice big deep stretch throughout that front line here in the hips if you're trying, and into the quad too. So anchoring myself in, using my hand for stability, and open up, relax that neck, breathe into the stretch. And release. Let's do 6 reps each side. Or sorry, let's do 3 reps each side. So we'll keep it even. So it'll be 6 reps total. So reach up. Let that neck relax. Think about pulling yourself. Open with that hand. You're trying to reach towards the ceiling. And 1 more. Anchor yourself in. Pull that pelvis under. Squeeze in the abs. open up that whole oblique side. Relaxing neck. Ooh, that felt great. All right, other side, just 3 reps. Pull the pelvis under, lengthen through your spine, squeeze the glutes, squeeze the abs, anchor yourself in, and reach. Two reps, here we go. Pulling the abs, the active stretch, actively reaching towards the ceiling. Kind of lock out that elbow if I can. Last one. Anchor yourself in, reset the hips if you need to. And reach. Ooh, my sides are tight. All right. And then for this next one, we're gonna get a little bit more dynamic and just increase that heart rate just a little bit. So we increased the heart rate, brought it down, and we're gonna increase it up just a little bit at the end. So here we go. We're gonna do another squat position. And with this one, we're gonna go into a mountain climber. So I'm gonna squat down, squat back up, squat, plant my hands on the ground, and step back. With this step, I want you to think about driving that heel back into the ground, or it's not gonna touch the ground, but try to reach it down to the ground. Lengthen through the spine. Try to posture up. Push yourself away from the floor. And back to standing. Squat, back up. Squat down, hands down to the floor. Step back, drive that heel into the ground. Grip the floor with your hands and feet. Lengthen through your spine. Squeeze the glutes. Ooh, and that's 2. Squat up, squat, and step. Drive the heel through, squeeze the glutes, lengthen through your spine, and up. Halfway there. Squat, up, squat, oops, sorry, and down. Drive through the heel, lengthen, squeeze glutes, and up. One more each side. Squat, up, squat, down, and step back. Open up those hip flexors by squeezing that glutes as hard as you can. All right, last one. Squat down, hands down, step back. Strength through here. Drive that heel through, squeeze those glutes, and up. Ooh, hips are feeling fantastic. Grab a sip of water if you'd like. If you feel like your heart rate's getting up, you can always take out some squats. For sure, wanted this to be something where we still feel like we're getting a little bit more mobility and strength out of this as well. Because remember, mobility is strength through flexibility. So you have to feel strong, you want to feel everything nice and active, and want to get that nervous system a little bit ramped up. But not too much, just a little bit. So let's get back to it. So for the next one, we're going right back to our bear squat to scorpion. Let's increase the intensity or the tempo on this one just a little bit. All right. Into your loaded beast position, arms are nice and straight, gripping onto the ground, hips up, lengthen, hips down, hips up, and open. I always add a first squat to the first rep. I gotta get in the groove. And hips down, up, open. Open up those hips, squeeze the glutes, and down. Scorpion. Reach as far as you can, lift that heel, and down. That's halfway. Squat, lift, reach, push yourself away from the floor. And 2 more.
Squat down into your bear squat. Lift up into your scorpion. Open up that hip. And last one. Open. Push away from the floor. And down.
Beautiful, team. Let's go back into our kneeling side stretch. To use our breath here a little bit more. So rooting the hips into the ground, tucking my pelvis under, squeezing my glutes, anchoring myself down with this hand. I'm gonna inhale and exhale as I reach. Try to keep that arm straight. Pull yourself apart by reaching as far as you can with that hand. Back down. Inhale. Exhale, reach. Inhale. Exhale, reach a little farther. Back to center. One more inhale. Reach, squeeze the glutes, squeeze the abs. Inhale. And reach. Ooh, I felt that one on my backside a little bit. Felt great. All right, other side, same thing. Tuck the pelvis under, squeeze the glutes, lengthen through your spine, abs tight, anchor yourself in with that hand. Inhale, exhale, reach. Remember, intensify the stretch by reaching with that hand. Inhale, exhale, reach deeper. Back to center. We have two more. Inhale up, reach. Relax the neck if you can. Inhale, reach farther. Back to center. Last one. Inhale up, squeeze the glutes, and reach. Exhale. Inhale, exhale, reach farther. Ooh, that side got real intense. All right, here's our 6 squats to mountain climbers. Same thing, just increase the tempo just a little bit since you guys know what you're doing. Here we go. Squat, up, squat, plant your hands, step back. Lengthen through your spine, squeeze the glutes. Step up. Squat down, sit up, or stand up, squat, plant your hands and step back. Squeeze the glutes, lengthen through your spine. Squat, stand, squat, plant, step back. That's 3. Halfway, squat, stand, squat, plant your hands, step back. 4. Squat, step back. 5, stand up. Last one. Ooh, feeling great. All right, last round, just 3, team. Come down into your loaded beast position. Hips up, hips down, hips up, reach. Hips down, hips up, reach. Lengthen through those arms. Hips down, hips up, reach. Hips down, hips up, reach. I believe this is 4. 2 more. Squat, lengthen. 5, 1 more. Squat, lengthen. That's 6. Here's our last lateral line stretch. Tucking my pelvis under, anchoring myself in. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale, reach deeper. Exhale, reach. Hold as you inhale. Reach. Do your exhale. Last one. Inhale. Exhale, reach. Inhale to end position. Exhale, reach deeper. Last one on the other side. Inhale, tuck the hips under, lengthen through your spine. Exhale, reach. Center. Exhale, reach. Or inhale, reach. Exhale. Hold. Deeper. And the last one. Inhale. Reach. Hold. Alright, and this is it. This is our last set of our squat to mountain climber. Just 6 reps. Inhale, squat down. Up. Inhale, squat down. Ground yourself and step back. Inhale. Step back. Lengthen to your spine. Squeeze the glutes. That's 2. Inhale. Up. Breathe. Almost there. Squat down. Up. Slow as low as you can. Grip the floor. Step back. That's 4. 2 more. Inhale, squat. Up. Inhale, squat. And step back. 5. Last one. Woo! There you have it, team. Hope you all are feeling great after this stretching and mobility session. Stay safe and stay well.